Hey Freunde, jetzt kommt zu diesem neuen Video. Wir machen heute den Aachenauftrag und ja, TikTok hat mich schon wieder ein bisschen gespoilert. Das heißt, ich weiß schon wieder irgendwie, um was es geht. Zumindest für einen Teil. Das macht mich ein bisschen traurig. Aber wir machen das jetzt trotzdem. Zwischenkapitel, 3. Akt.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatarasuna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But that's all the way in Inazuma. Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here is just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Lass es näher angehen und zuhören.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tatarasuna mystery is all about.
Umgekehrte Schöpfung. Zwischenkapitel, Akt 3. Dann hören wir den beiden mal zu. Warum nicht?
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Suchst du nach mir?
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
Wenn du mich glaubst, dann gehe ich besser wieder.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma.
Stimmt, das schaut aus wie angezogen, schaut aus wie es kommt da von Inazuma.
This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see.
Tut mir leid, wir können dir nicht wirklich
My
helfen.
teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows.
Die Namen kommen mir irgendwie bekannt vor.
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kinda fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Könnte das etwas bedeuten?
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Natürlich haben wir davon gehört.
The swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art.
Irgendwie Niwa, ja. Könnte es sogar Kazuas Vater? Nee, 400 Jahre, das ist glaube ich zu lange her. Hatte nicht gerade gesagt, vor 400 Jahren haben diese Menschen gelebt? Aber das Erbe ist doch erst so bei Kazuas Großvater zu Bruch gegangen, oder nicht? Mit dem Plan und dem Wasser und da und so. Hä?
Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Gibt es etwa noch einen wichtigeren Anhaltspunkt?
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get
Komm
to
zum
the
Punkt.
point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
Scaramouche.
A puppet?
Die von der Göttin der Blitze erschaffene Puppenagentin, Shunguraden, soll zu diesem Zeitpunkt bereits mit ihrer zusammen über Inazuma beherrscht haben. Aber das war sie ganz bestimmt nicht. Es gibt nur eine Erklärung, diese Abukimono oder so, was Scaramouche. Aber warum war er vor 400 Jahren in Tarazuna? Ja. Shunguraden wird es kaum gewesen sein. Was hat der in Tarazuna gemacht? Er war ja tatsächlich auch der 4. von diesen 4 Dichtern da. Es wird immer interessanter.
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Die Paimon heimlich ein Zeichen.
No, Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Autor Sabata, Except 1. Was das heißt? Es heißt, gegen 3 Uhr nachmittags sei ein Mensch nach Tatasuna, okay, ich weiß nicht, gekommen. Bei Weitem hat er die arbeitenden Menschen entlang der Bergstraße zu den Werkstätten gehen sehen. Ihre Schuhsohlen rieben sich an den mächtigen Felsen des Berges und sie stießen sanfte, aber erschütternde Geräusche aus. Ganz so, als kämen sie durch das Überqueren dieser Schwelle zu Hochhof im Berg und könnte so aus diesen Witten für unbezahlbar wertvolle Edelsteine herausholen. Was? Das war jetzt ein Satz? Ich verstehe auch nichts mehr. Natürlich können diejenigen, die nicht zu dieser Zeit gelebt haben, diese Leidenschaft kaum verstehen. Freudiger geht begrüßt dieser Mensch die anderen, lief zu ihnen hinüber und schloss bis schnell zur Truppe auf. Ein großer muskulöser Kerl aus der Truppe klopfte ihm auf seinen Rücken, sprach dann respektvoll zu ihm. Wer gibt uns die Ehre? Meister Miyazaki. Zurück von seiner Reise nach Inazuma. Welche Leistung? Miyazaki ließ sich zu einem Lächeln reißen und lachte wie ein unerfahrener Jüngling und zeigte eine spannende Miene. Katsuragi. Inazuma ist die Stadt des Shogun und von dort zurückzukehren, fahre ich auf die schnellste Schiff und bereise die schnellsten Wasserstraßen. Was soll daran schon gefährlich sein? Gibt es gute Neuigkeiten? Natürlich gibt es die. Die beiden brachen in ein schnelles Gelächter aus und schürzten mit den anderen Arbeitern bis zum Ende des Tages. Ein junger Mann mit einem einfachen Leinenhemd und einem Tuch auf dem Kopf stand vor einem Ofen und schaute ins Feuer. Feuer zum Schmieden von Stahl ist mit nichts anderem vergleichbar. Die große Flamme beeinflusst den rohen Stahl, spiegelt sich in der Qualität der Klinge wieder. Der in die Flamme blickte, war ganz ungewöhnlich. Auf seinen Fingerspitzen saß eine Eidechse. Sein Gesicht zierte ein Lächeln. Der Raum war sehr groß. Der Hochofen reichte weit nach unten und angeblich arbeiteten dort die meisten Menschen zusammen und doch stand er hier ganz allein. Als es Katsuragi und Miyazaki eintraten, wandte er sein Gesicht ab. Dieser Mann war Waffenmeister Hisahide, Verwalter von der Isshin-Schule. Hier hatte er mit seinen Brüdern und Schwestern gestritten, nur war er mit Fug und Recht zum Erbe des Clans geworden. Das war von den verschiedensten Adligen und Großmeistern als diesen Titel würdig angesehen wurde, war ein Beweis dafür. Miyazaki übergab ihm ein sorgsam in Borak eingeschlagenes Dokument und sagte mit aufrechter Miene, wie der Meister sagt, ist dein Verwandter in der Stadt kein Unterstützer unseres Plans. Aber Akames Plan, das war doch einer von den Dichtern, oder nicht? Ist ein Versuch wert. Daher habe ich Lieferanten gesucht, um anhand der Bestellliste die von dir benötigten Dinge zu beschaffen. Als er das Dokument zu Ende gelesen hatte, nickte er. Ob Kalera uns unterstützt oder nicht, wir sollten auf jeden Fall neues Schmiedverfahren erproben. Gottes Werk. Katsuragi überlegte die stillen Falten sprach. Das Schwertschmieden ist bereits eine überaus ausgefeilte und komplizierte Technik. Die Meister sind schon so erfahren und wollen doch immer weiter daran fallen. Wirklich beeindruckend. Wäre Meister Nagamasa hier, würde er bestimmt wieder eine beschämte Miene ziehen. Mit einem lächelnden Gesicht sagte Niwa, Herr Katsuragi, wie sieht es aus mit dem Schwert von Meister Nagasama? Katsuragi wollte weder einen Gesichtsverlust für seine Herren herbeiführen, noch wollte er seine beiden Freunde belügen. Doch egal wie er es sich auch überlegte, eine passende Formulierung konnte ihm nicht einfallen. Weshalb er erzürnt sagte. Offensichtlich hat Meister Niwas edler Geschmack im Schmiedhandwerk seine Ohren beeinträchtigt, sodass er die blöden Witze des Fußvolkes nicht mehr verstehen konnte. Miyazaki begann sofort mit vorgehaltener Hand zu kichern. Als Niwa zu Ende gehört hatte, setzte er die Eidechse in seiner Hand auf Katsuragis Hand. Als er gerade was sagen wollte, kam noch jemand aus der Ferne herbei. Diesmal waren leichte Schritte zu vernehmen. Es nähere sich ein sehr junger Mensch. Der Kopf, der hineingesteckt wurde, war kohlrund. Im Feuerschein wirkte er wie eine völlig ölige, wässrige, glänzende Perle. Das heißt, dieser Niwa, also wenn ihr euch erinnert, wo wir das erste Mal in seine Vergangenheit geschaut haben, hat man ja eben auch gesehen, wie er schmiedet und dann muss dieser Typ mit dem Kopftuch eben neben ihm dieser Niwa sein. Also, das kann man Vergangenheit, ihr wisst schon. Der junge Mensch stellte sein Essenspaket beiseite und nickte. Bereit zu gehen. Was? Keine Ahnung. Katsuragi lief hinterher. Was ist mit deinem Essen? Wirst du es nicht essen? Als der Mensch es hörte, wusste er zuerst nicht, was er tun sollte und antwortete nach einiger Zeit. Na gut, ich werde es versuchen. Es ist gleich gegessen, kein Grund zur falschen Bescheidenheit, sagte Niwa. Der Mensch nickte erneut und ging davon, dass seine tiefen Gedanken besuchten. Ich hab nicht wirklich eine Ahnung, was da steht. Ich lese es zwar, aber ich kapier's irgendwie noch nicht so ganz. Excerpt 2. Kabukimono befand sich an der Küste. Bei Sonnenuntergang gab es keine Leuchten am Himmel. Stattdessen rollten Donnerwolken drüber und kündeten so vom heraufziehenden Gewittersturm. Und so verschwand das letzte bisschen Licht auf dem Meer. Die Wolken wurden tiefer und tiefer, als hätte die Dunkelheit sie gezwungen, vor dem Land vor ihnen in die Knie zu gehen. So wie der Kabukimono vor dem Land auf der anderen Seite der Meerenge kniet. Niemand ging vorüber, niemand wusste, worauf er in diesem Moment still wartete. Nach einer Zeit, niemand weiß wie lange, stieß vom Himmel plötzlich ein Kreis schwarzer Wolken hinnieder. Und mitten ihres Wirbels war der Kabukimono, einem Albtraum gleich sie ihn. Zu Beginn hatte er gar kein Gefühl, lange nachdem er seine Augen aufriss, begriff er, diese Wolken hatten es von Beginn an auf ihn abgesehen. Aus der Ferne nahte ein Fischerboot heran, eine Positionsleuchte schwankte im unablässigen Sturm und Regen. Zu dieser Zeit breitete sich eine dichte Nebelschicht aus, weshalb die Fischer an Bord die Straße nicht mehr sahen und anderen schrien, es ist doch erst Dämmerung. Warum können wir nichts mehr sehen? Ist da jemand, der uns den Weg zu weisen vermag? Nun schossen die schwarzen Wolken in das Boot hinein und verloren gemeinsam mit diesem die Orientierung. Einer wilden Blitz gleich krachte es in die Küste. Nur wenige Schritte entfernt stand der Kabukimono untätig, als er den Kopf zum riesigen Schiffswrack wandte. Von dem, der dort zuerst geschrien hatte, war nichts geblieben als ein halber Arm. Oh, der nur mit einem dunklen Knall vor die Füße des Kabukimono fiel. Irgendwie Hocker betrachtete ihn. Wobei er sich gegen den Drang sträubte, ein Biss davon zu nehmen. Was? Zuletzt hinterließ er es jedoch. Denn die wirbelnden schwarzen Wolken hatte schon alles, was noch auf dem Schiff verblieb, verschlungen. Der Kabukimono startete darauf für eine lange Zeit, bis er wie aus einem Traum erwachte. Als es zu sich kam, hatten sich die schwarzen Wolken bereits verstreut. Von ihnen blieb keine Spur. Und das Problem? War das nicht einfach vom Blitz getroffen worden? Er konnte das schon wissen. Dem Kabukimono wurde es nicht klar. Oh Gott, vielen Dank, ich habe gesagt, das ist jetzt mal Exzerpt, ich weiß es nicht. 3. Ich kann sowieso nicht so gut lesen, ich hab schon wieder erkannt, danke. Das quatscht mir sowas hin. Katsuragi eilte zur Tür und rief, Meister, im Hochofen ist etwas passiert. Ich konnte keine Spur von Meister Niwa finden. Und Meister Miyazaki suchte in der Ferne um Hilfe bis. Heute kam kein Brief von ihm zurück. Was sollen wir tun? Mikoshi Nagamasa dreht sich langsam um, mit einer Miene wie bei einer Beerdigung und einer besonderen Schwere in der Stimme, sagt er. Katsuragi, ich möchte dir das nicht sagen, aber Meister Miyazaki wird gleich nicht zurückkehren. Katsuragi Blick ging an Nagamasas breiten und festen Schultern vorbei. Zum Fenster heraus. Über dem Meer rollten schwarze Wolken herum. Die bedrückte Dunkelheit war furchteinflößend. Die hellschwarze Nacht wurde zum einzigen Wetter und geriet danach die Form von Yokai anzunehmen und ganz Tarazuna zu verschwinden. Weiß nicht, Herr Gott oder so? Es sind über ein Dutzend Menschen gestorben. Deshalb, wie hatte er sich von einem schweren Schlag erholt, erinnerte sich Katsuragi plötzlich. Deshalb musste sie in der Ferne um Hilfe suchen. Wussten sie. Also, Miyazaki war als erstes mit dem Schiff aufgebrochen. Als er ging, hatte sich diese Form von Wolken gerade erst gebildet. Dafür von Tarazuna nach Inazuma zu reisen und dort um Hilfe zu bitten, war in normalen Zeiten keine große Schwierigkeit. Miyazaki war nach langer Zeit immer noch nicht zurück. Der zweite, der dritte, der vierte. Auch der Kabukimono hatte die Insel mit dem letzten Boot verlassen. Das Wetter, bei dem er aufbrach, schlecht und sein Schicksal ungewiss. Katsuragi holte ihn zurück und behandelte ihn, als sei er sein eigenes Fleisch und Blut. Er wollte ihn nur umgehen gehen lassen. Was so dringlich wie die Lage von Tarazuna war, wäre es das Opfer auch noch so vieler Leben wert, denn damit nur der Segen der Hauptstadt erreicht werden würde. Niemand verschwand und niemand wusste, wohin er gegangen war. Nach einer Weile führte Nagamasa erneut eine Truppe in die Berge, um alles vom Hochofen ausgehend abzusuchen. Was ist das? Sag mal, lese ich das die ganze Zeit falsch oder Hochofen? Hochofen? Hochofen war auch nicht, ich habe keine Ahnung. Was jedoch nicht von Erfolg gekrönt war. Man nahm an, Lieber sei vielleicht einem Unglück zum Opfer gefallen. Doch nach kurzem gab es auch die Annahme, er könnte die Last dieses seltsamen Geschehens nicht mehr tragen und habe sich abgesetzt, um einer Strafe zu entgehen. Die Menschen wurden misstrauisch und Nagamasa kämpfte gegen Unzufriedenheit und Zorn an. Sein Gesicht war kaum noch von den schwarzen Wolken in der Ferne zu unterscheiden. Plötzlich huschte eine Gestalt herbei. Nagamasa bemerkte ihn, zog das Schwert an seine Hüfte und durchschnitt mit dessen Spitze den Schleier des eben erschienen. Die Gestalt schwankte wie eine Marionette und tauchte hinter Nagamasa auf und dachte unheimlich. Wonach sucht der Meister? Nebel? Nagamasa sprach entzürnt. Wage es nicht, Meister Nebel so zu nennen. Er schlug erneut zu und die Gestalt löste sich im Nebel auf, bevor sie sich in einem Wimpernschlag in der Ferne wieder vereinte und dort eine monströse Gestalt annahm. Was du bist, der meine Männer getötet hat? Schrie Nagamasa, was, okay, das hab ich voll falsch betont. Schrie Nagamasa. Es zu ihm und wollte sich auf ihn werfen. Doch Katsuragi hielt ihn mit aller Kraft zurück. Nun, erst erkannte Nagamasa, dass er nur einen Schritt davon entfernt war, in den Ofen zu stürzen. Heißt es doch Hochofen. Ich schien noch nicht fertig geschrieben zu sein. Eines steht jedoch fest. Dies ist eine gute Basis von Informationen aus der eben gelesenen abhandlung geschriebenen Geschichte von der Fantasie- und Vorstellungskraft.
Oh, and please read my essay draft.
Okay, das ist nicht ganz so lang, glaube ich. Gehen wir mal zurück. Eine kurze Analyse eines möglichen historischen Vorfalls in Tarazuna bei Inezuma. Erklärung. Die vorliegende Abhandlung wurde im Rahmen des Projekts Lüften des Schleiers der Ursachenlehre gefördert. Editionsnummer Ausstehen. Autor Aquaba. Abstrakt. Seit jeher gilt Tarazuna als wichtiger Teil der Schmiedeindustrie von Inezuma. Auf diesem Gebiet kam es eigentlich zu 2 Vorfällen. Bei einem davon sind die Aufzeichnungen recht unklar. Der Autor nimmt an, dass sich hinter diesem ersten Unfall noch eine Reihe unbekannter geschichtlicher Hintergründe verbergen. Diese Abhandlung analysiert die bekannten mit diesen Vorfall zusammenhängenden Informationen. Stichwörter Tarazuna, Reagan, Gogaten, Mikoshi, Nagamasa, Kabukimono. Einleitung. Diese Abhandlung fußt auf dem Forschungsbericht vermutete verborgene Kulturgeschichte in Tarazuna des Mentors des Autors, Herrn Vroni, und setzt die Erforschung dieses Themas fort. Wie klar aus den Informationen zu entnehmen ist, stammt die Schmiedetechnik von Inezuma ursprünglich vom Shumo Raiden, dem Elektroachen. Die Schmiede führten das Handwerk der Göttin fort und widmet sich vor allem ganz dem Schmiedegewerbe. Aber in Tarazuna gibt es einige in vollkommen Widerspruch zu diesen Stellen im Herzen der Schmiedeindustrie stehende uralte Gerüchte. Die Familie Mikoshi und Niwa und eine mysteriöse Puppe, diese 3 sind der Ausgangspunkt, von dem aus wir uns der Wahrheit über Tarazuna nehmen. Hauptteil. Seltsame Notiz von Tarazuna. Auf hier steht das folgende. Erstens, vielleicht gehe ich zu weit, aber ich denke, dass Nagamasas Stimmung besser wird, wenn er Klingen schmiedet. Die Besessenheit, den Fleck des Namens Mikoshi zu reinigen, ist eine Auszerrung der eigenen Seele. Außerdem entdeckt Katsuragi einen namenlosen Kabukimono, als er am Nachsuchi-Stand patrouillierte. Zweitens, der Inspektor hat einige gewisse Anzahl von Jahresstahlwaren gekauft. Katsuragi diskutiert bis tief in die Nacht hinein mit dem Vize-Waffenmeister über das Schmied. Drittens, wir haben endlich ein einzelnes Nagamaki hergestellt. Wir nennen es das Daitatara Nagamasa. Der Inspektor war gut gelaunt und der Vizewaffenmeister Nozomu war so angetan von der Schönheit des Daitatara Nagamasa, dass er ein Bild von ihm zeichnete. Und er vollführte einen Schwerttanz mit diesem sich herumtreibenden Kabukimono. Okay. Jetzt, und wir konnten diesen Kabukimono nicht finden. Der Inspektor geriet in einen wutanfallen Schluck auf Katsuragi ein. Die große Klinge stand tief in das Fleisch und er warf sein eigenes Nagamaki in die Flammen des Ofens. Nozomu konnte sich nicht an diesen Befehl halten, zog die völlig verschmolzene Waffe aus dem Ofen. Er wurde furchtbar verbrannt. Also er hat eine im Feuer liegendes Schwert herausgezogen. Das ist die Ente. Der Sohn starb in dieser Nacht. Ich wage zu behaupten, dass Katsuragi vielleicht ein Fehlverhalten begangen hat, aber es geschah aus der Güte seines Herzens. Sechstens, Kinjiro versteckte das Nagamaki und Nozomus Zeichnung im Arsenal. Nagamasa ist die Frucht erregend, aber Rechenschaffen. Und deshalb ist er nicht barmherzig. Er stellte die Unschuld und Ehre seines Clans über alle andere. Daher sind ich und einige Haushalte von Tarazuna nicht geblendet von der Sache mit Nagamasas Mutter Chiyo. Wir vertrauen ihm. Ich werde auch die Freude nicht vergessen, mit ihm das Daitara Nagamasa zu erschaffen und die Freude, den namenlosen Kabukimono bei seinem Schwerttanz mit Katsuragi zu beobachten. Siebtens, bevor wir uns zurückzogen, hätten wir den Arsenalschlüssel in 3 Teilen aufteilen sollen. Einen für den Inspektor, einen für den Waffenmeister und einen, der Tarazuna selbst zurückgelassen wird, um Diebstahl zu verhindern. Aber wir hatten es zu eilig und da weder der Inspektor noch der Waffenmeister auffindbar waren, war ich so dreist, die 3 Stücke Schatztruhen in Tarazuna zu verstecken. Die oben stehenden 7 Texten wurden verstreut über ganz Tarazuna gefunden. Die ersten 6 wurden auf recht widerstandfestigem Papier geschrieben und wirken sehr alt. Nur die letzte Notiz scheint auf etwas neuerem Papier geschrieben zu sein. Der Autor nimmt an, dass die ersten 6 Schriftstücke aus einer anderen Zeit stammen als das letzte. Wie viele Jahre dazwischen liegen, muss noch weiter untersucht werden. Der Inhalt dieser 6 Schriftstücke scheint miteinander verknüpft zu sein, weshalb davon ausgegangen werden kann, dass hierbei von selben Ereignissen berichtet wird. Vroni hat in vermutete verborgene Kulturgeschichten Tarazuna im weiteren Textverlauf als Kulturgeschichte bezeichnet, erwähnte, dass Gelehrte aus Sumer nach Inezuma gereist sind und in der Region von Tarazuna deren Kultur und Geschichte untersucht haben. Aber sich Tarazuna bereits zur Zeit des Verfassens von Vronis Kulturgeschichte nach einer Reihe unvorhergesehener Ereignisse im Niedergang befand, war der dortige Zustand noch deutlich besser als zum Zeitpunkt des Verfassens dieser Abhandlung. Das Zentrum von Tarazuna ist heutzutage vollkommen unbewohnbar und tatsächlich auch unbewohnt. Die Behausungen finden sich alle in Unfernähe, wo die Menschen vom Meer leben. Ja, nicht ganz unbewohnt. Rui oder so gibt es auch immer, ich weiß nicht, ob ich das aufgenommen habe, ich denke nicht. Da gab es mal so ein Kind noch drauf. Das war dann noch, das hat er gerade irgendwie in so einer Zeitschrift gelegt. Von ihnen erfuhren die Gelehrten aus Sumeru von großen Reichtum. Den Tarazuna-Führer hatte vor vielen hundert Jahren in einer Zeit, die als goldene Zeit bezeichnet werden kann, stand Tarazuna unter der Verwaltung von Waffenmeister Niwa, Vizewaffenmeister Miyazaki und Inspektor Mikoshi Nagamasa. Gleichzeitig betonten gerade die Älteren mit längerem Familientradition immer wieder, dass es der Tarazuna einst seltsame Gerüchte gegeben habe. Die meisten dieser seltsamen Gerüchte drehten sich um Yokai und trotzdem nur so vor Besonderheiten von Inezuma, nur ein kleiner Teil sprach von einer Puppe. Es ist wichtig zu wissen, dass die Puppe kein gewöhnlicher Yokai von Inezuma ist. Gelehrten waren sehr verwundert und stellten nahe weitere Fragen zu diesem Thema und erhielten so die folgende Information. Tarazuna tauchte einst eine Puppe auf. Sie hatte eine hübsche Erscheinung, passend zurechtgemacht und verstand sich darauf, die Ritzen auf ihren speziellen Gelenken zu verbergen. Wenn es nichts gab und so jemanden erwähnte, bemerkte Beistehende kaum, dass es sich um eine Puppe handelte. Außerdem schienen die Ritzen auf den Gelenken mit der Zeit weniger zu werden. Es könnte sie schließlich ganz verschwinden und die Puppe schließlich zum Ebenbild eines Menschen werden. Der Name der Puppe war kaum jemandem bekannt. Man konnte nur herausfinden, dass sie in Tarazuna aufgetaucht war und im Zentrum sowie am Strand gesehen wurde. Es heißt, sie habe lange am Strand gestanden und auf die Stadt Inezuma, von der sie durch das Meer getrennt wurde, geblickt. Niemand wusste, was es dort zu sehen gab oder was sie dort sah. Wie bereits erwähnt, tritt in 6 Texte ein namenloser Kabukimono auf. Das Wort Kabukimono wird in Summa häufig verwendet, um Menschen zu beschreiben, die sich seltsam kleiden oder seltsam verhalten. Daran kann man erkennen, dass solche Personen einen tiefen Eindruck bei den anderen Menschen hinterlassen. Der Autor vermutete, dass sofern es in Tarazuna wirklich eine Puppe gegeben hätte und diese keine Angst ausgelöst hätte, dies in Anbetracht der gemeinsamen Lebensweise von Menschen und Yokai in der Gesellschaft von Summa höchstwahrscheinlich zu einem Bewohner von Tarazuna geworden wäre. Am Anfang wollte ja noch niemand Angst machen. Irgendwann dann schon, habe ich das Gefühl. Weil sich jemand ungewöhnlich recht gekleidet, achten die Menschen weniger auf ihre verbleibenden Eigenschaften. Diese Inferenz muss noch durch weitere Beweise untermauert werden, kann aber vorerst als Hypothese beibehalten werden. Der Autor hat anhand der historischen Daten aus Innsuma eine Liste der möglicherweise mit Tarzana verbundenen Persönlichkeiten zusammengestellt. Beginn mit dem Verwalter ist hier aufgeführt. Waffenmeister Niwa, vollständiger Name Niwa Hisahide. Erbe der Ishin-Schule des Niwa-Clans, welcher gemeinsam mit Akame-Clan und dem Kalahari-Clan als Ishin Sansaku bezeichnet wird. In der Aufzeichnung zufolge war Niwa ein bescheidener Mann, sehr intelligent und so ideal für die Verwaltung von Land und Leuten geeignet. Ein späterer Verbleib ist unbekannt. Es ist anzunehmen, dass er Tarzana zum Vorteil mit seiner Familie verlassen hat. Okay? Damals wurden nur 3 Namen genannt in dem Event, bei dem Irodori-Fest. Zu jeder Schule ein Name, aber jetzt sehen wir hier sogar schon 3. Das ist interessant. Vizewaffenmeister Miyazaki. Vollständiger Name Miyazaki Kaneo. Niwas Assistent, Herkunft unbekannt, hauptsächlich betraut mit Unterstützung Niwas bei der Verwaltung des Schmiedehandwerks und der Personalverwaltung. Zurück zur Welt und freundliche Persönlichkeit. Viele Freunde in dem Gebiet, enge Freundschaften zu Mikoshi Nagamasa. Spectre Mikoshi Nagamasa. Erbe des Mikoshi-Clans, Adoptivsohn der Unikämpferin Mikoshi Shio, Adoptivbruder von Mikoshi Michihiro, welcher auch als Iwakura, der Nachfolger, bekannt ist. Oni. Das ist interessant. Nach dem Verschwinden seiner Adoptivmutter Shio wurde er von seinem Adoptivbruder Michihiro verstoßen und trug daraufhin allein die Bilder des Clans. Er arbeitete jeden Tag hart, um den Namen des Clans von allen Schmutz zu befreien. Verschiedenste Quellen bezeugen, dass Mikoshi Nagamasa, obwohl er dickköpfig war, auch sehr aufrichtig war und offen sprach, stets moralisch integer handelt. Was? Integer? Weiß nicht, was das heißt. Die Aufzeichnungen bezeugen, dass er, um seinen Geist zu kultivieren und das Schmiedehandwerk zu erlernen, Miyazaki bat, sein Lehrmeister zu sein. Nach dem Schmieden des berühmten Schwertes Daitatara Nagamasa tötete er seinen untergebenen Katsuragi, seinen unbekannten Grund mit der Klinge. Untergebener Katsuragi. Vollständiger Name unbekannt. Herkunft unbekannt. Trotz Lektüre vielfältiger Unterlagen ist es dem Autor nicht möglich, nähere persönliche Informationen zu Katsuragi zu finden. Weil Untergebener von Mikoshi Nagamasa, ein loyaler Kampfkünstler. Als er jünger wurde er von Mikoshi Nagamasa gerettet und schwor sich, alles für ihn zu tun, sogar für ihn zu sterben. Kabuki Mono. Vollständiger Name unbekannt. Herkunft unbekannt. Nach Lektüre vielfältiger Unterlagen gelangt der Autor gemeinsam mit dem Theorie von Vroni zu der Ansicht, dass es sich bei dieser Person um die Puppe handelt, von der in den Gerüchten die Rede ist. Der Kabuki Mono aus der Legende, exquisite Züge und eine warme und freundliche Persönlichkeit. Irgendwann nicht mehr leider. Aber am Anfang war noch ganz viel. Der Kulturgeschichte zufolge wurde er von Katsuragi nach Tarazuna zurückgebracht und wurde dann zu einem Einwohner von Tarazuna. Als der Kabuki zum ersten Mal nach Tarazuna kam, verfügte er über keinerlei Lebens- oder Arbeitsfähigkeiten. Die Einwohner lehrten ihn geduldig und allmählich lernte er unter den anderen waschen, tanzen und schmieden, kleinere Objekte. In Aufzeichnungen zufolge war auch Kabuki anwesend, als der Daitatara Nagamasas geschmiedet wurde und schon bevor Mikoshi Nagamasa Katsuragi tötete, schloss sich die Spur von Kabuki. Der Autor schließt daraus, dass Kabuki, also die Puppe, eventuell mit Katsuragis Tod in Verbindung steht. Der Rest scheint noch nicht fertig geschrieben zu sein. Eines steht fest, diese Abhandlung wurde viel Sorgfalt investiert. Bitte, ich nicht mehr lesen.
Encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawana's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
In der Tat ähnelt es etwas zu sehr einem Roman.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
Dann wollen wir nicht weiter stören. Bye bye.
I have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Ich habe jetzt eine halbe Stunde eigentlich nur vorgelesen. Puh.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
Da wandert er ja. Was ist los?
Did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
Tatsächlich! Der marschiert einfach auf!
Here! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Der marschiert einfach ganz entspannt an uns vorbei. Lol. Ach, ich mag den Typen einfach wirklich. Nahida, Hallöchen.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
Oh Gott! Geil.
Sure enough, you're here.
Okay, und jetzt?
Hey, what are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
Yep.
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
Nö, ich will die nicht töten.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Warum verstehen wir uns schlecht mit ihm? Ich wäre gern mit ihm befreundet.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Ist gar nicht zu einem abgestoßen geworden.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui. And also between each of the harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be. Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him!
Paimon, halt's Maul!
Let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Ach, Nahida, danke schön.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you serious about this? Yes. I
Ich
have
auch.
my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
Was?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that? Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information and should be able to find it more quickly.
Was nicht hintergeht?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him! I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Danke, Nahida.
It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it. Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help? I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Okay. Lass mich tun, was ich kann.
Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Gut.
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Moinsen, dann sehen wir uns wieder.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Ich werde dich für Nahida überwachen.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smart!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Ich verstehe.
Fine, let's call it truce, but only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure you're confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
Leg einfach los.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him.
Ich find's so schade, dass wir ihn so hassen. Ist doch eigentlich einfach...
Wow. So this is the inside of Irminsul.
anders, als ich mir vorgestellt habe.
Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so, say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
Sei einfach
I was
still.
just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost.
Nicht so schlimm.
Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
Also, er ist schon ein bisschen arrogant, das muss man schon sagen, aber eigentlich ist er sonst... Er ist einfach nur verletzt. Und wenn nicht, im Stich gelassen und verletzt.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Das ist auf einem anderen Weg. So, das ist, wenn wir auf einen anderen Weg teleportiert wurden. Ja.
It looks the same in every direction.
Dieser Ort ist wirklich ungewöhnlich, aber Scaramouche scheint besser daran gewöhnt zu sein als ich.
No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
Das ist das Zentrum von Irminsul. Darum befinden sich alle Informationen dieser Welt.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
Außerdem scheint er sich in keiner Weise hiergegen zu sträuben. Anscheinend versteht er sich auf den Einsatz an vorderster Front. Hatte etwa bei den Fatui eine ähnliche Rolle? Ich musste an die Geschichte denken, die Akaba und Zawada erzählt haben. Ist wirklich eine sonderbare Person.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Wieder, ist das ein Bewusstseinsgespräch?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
Du möchtest wohl nicht, dass wir Scaramouche unterbrechen.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Stimmt, und derartige Aufträge zu legen, scheint ihm auch sehr zu liegen.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand.
Lächelt er? Sieht so aus, als würde er ein bisschen lächeln.
Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Besteht er in Zusammenhang mit seiner Vergangenheit? Mit diesem sogenannten Verrat und den Dingen, die in Inazuma passiert sind?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
In Wirklichkeit ist es so, dass ich in dem Augenblick, als ich Hypatia in Paradies Tahia berührt habe, für kurze Zeit einige Dinge gesehen habe.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gase got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
Wir haben nicht die Pflicht, dich einzubeziehen.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
Auch wenn diese Art von Gespräch nicht gerade angenehm ist, ist deine Einstellung doch besser, als ich erwartet hatte.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Niwa, ist das nicht der Name des Verwalters von Tarazuna? Sollte das so sein, dann gehört er zur Ichin-Schule.
Whoa!
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose, they are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this...
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate, and I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you—
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Ist das nicht die Stimme von dem Weisen?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
Okay. Ja, tatsächlich. Doktor. Ich habe gerade vorhin gesagt, dass der Weise, womit die Stimme bekannt war, vorkam. Mir ist der Doktor nicht eingefallen. Stimmt. Er hat uns erzählt, dass es sehr viele Versionen von ihm gibt, in verschiedenem Alter. Kann es natürlich sein, dass der Originalkörper gar nicht mehr drunter ist. Oder? Das ist ja alles nur noch künstlich.
The Fatui? Who?
Die Fatui gibt's schon so lang? Krass. Wow.
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind.
Ich frage mich gerade, ob das vielleicht sogar der Originalkörper vom Doktor ist. Der sieht so anders aus.
It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, Tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was.
What? Jetzt, weil ich dachte, zwar ein Piro, aber der kann doch nicht auch schon 400 Jahre alt sein. What? Die haben die Geschichte umgeschrieben und sich da reingeschmuggelt.
I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Hä, oder ist das jetzt doch geschehen? Ah, dann muss ja Piero auch schon so alt sein. Wenn Piero und der Doktor schon so mindestens 400 Jahre alt sind. Und Scaramouche ist 500 Jahre alt. Hat er denn damals die Aufgabe bekommen, sich hier einzuschleusen und damit sie auch einen großen Bestandteil der Inazumas Geschichte haben oder irgendwie sowas? Es kann natürlich auch sein. Entweder die haben das jetzt nachträglich gemacht, wobei ich eigentlich glaube, das ist eigentlich überhaupt nicht möglich. Die Forterie können fehlen, aber ich glaube, sowas können sie nicht. Okay. Also, Pio und Doktor müssen dann aber schon so 400 Jahre alt sein. Das ist krass. Dann sind sie eben auf Scaramouche gekommen. Wollten ihn benutzen.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore? Dottore! Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
Sieht danach aus. Er steckt also hinter dem Vorfall in Tarazuna.
Why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Also war dieser Verrat letztendlich ein mehrere hunderte Jahre altes Lügenmärchen. War das auch eines der Experimente von The Doctor? Wahrscheinlich. Ein Verrat, der niemals stattgefunden hat. Eine erfundene Untat. Aber was hat er am Ende damit erreicht?
Give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Gut, lass uns noch da
We
drüben
need
gehen.
to give him some time to process his emotions.
Ja.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabukimono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as the mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it had protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Von einem wichtigen Freund verraten und im Stich gelassen worden zu sein, kann in der Tat zu großem Hass führen. Der vor ungefähr 100 Jahren an Rainbow-Karten Rache verübt hat, scheint auch darauf zurückzugehen. Aber das heißt keineswegs, dass seine Rache gerechtfertigt wäre.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright?
Oh,
That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
wir wollen einfach nur nicht, dass etwas Unplanmäßiges geschieht.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, aren't you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat.
Das ist logisch.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Wie zu erwarten. Wie zu erwarten war, aber trotzdem danke.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria and lived with your brother for a time.
Diese Theorie gab es auch schon. Die Theorie ist, also eine ist, dass Pero von Kanria kommt, Kaya sein Sohn ist und Kaya der Prinz von Kanria ist. Pero von den 11. Fatui. Warum?
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Oh, warum grinst er so?
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Tu das. Was?
What have
Warum?
you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long.
Also,
I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
was willst du von mir
Give
wissen?
me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Willst du mein Bewusstsein eindringen?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Mann, warum fragst du mich das?
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me.
Moment, seine Miene. Hat er gesehen, dass ich gezögert habe? Was lag daran, dass ich über die Sache mit der höheren Rukadevata Bescheid weiß? Nein, habe ich ihm etwa eine Frage
So
beantwortet?
long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Ich hab noch nicht fertig gelesen!
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Stopp, Skamusch! Bleib mal ein bisschen
Fast
aufhalten.
reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist.
Oh nein, das passiert wirklich, was ich gesehen habe. Schon auf TikTok. Oh nein.
Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nihida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
Nein, ich will dir helfen.
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Paimon erinnert sich nicht mehr an die herrenrückerte Worte. Scaramouches Frage war sehr ungewöhnlich. Es wäre zu kompliziert, das jetzt zu erklären und würde Paimon wohl traurig machen. Es wäre wohl am besten, die Sache mit der herrenrückerte Warte unerwähnt zu lassen und nur über Scaramouche zu sprechen.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible.
Es ist gewiss nicht leicht.
Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Ja, das stimmt.
So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Oh, Paimon's so confused.
Vielleicht will er sich ja selbst aus der Geschichte löschen.
Huh?
Paimon, alles okay?
Sorry, Paimon accidentally... It's the balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul?
Nicht unbedingt, aber vielleicht.
Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working. Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Stimmt, sollte ich Scaramouche wirklich aus Irminsul löschen, dann will sich das auf viele Menschen und Dinge in der Summe auswirken. Die Folgen waren unvorstellbar. Im schlimmsten Fall wären alle Menschen, die mit Raiden Gogaten zu tun hatten, wie etwa Kada Kazuha, Kamisoto Yaka und Kamisato Hayato, davon betroffen. Würden sie dann verschwinden?
There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight.
Geht mir genauso.
So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes. Cream stew. Sauteed matsutake. And Dragon chili chicken. Almond tofu. Satisfying salad. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation. Golden shrimp balls.
Palmen?
Um.
Palmen, was ist mit dir?
What do we... What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again?
Du hast dir wegen der Sache mit Scaramouche Sorgen gemacht und deswegen Gerichte aufgezählt.
The Balladeer? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name, though.
Er hat sich selbst gelöscht. Palmen erinnert sich nicht mal an Scaramouche. Könnte er etwa tatsächlich Erfolg gehabt haben? Aber ist das wirklich möglich? Irgendwas scheint ja nicht zu stimmen.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
Nein, es ist nichts.
So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
Sollte es wirklich so sein? Da muss ich eben wichtige Sachen bestätigen. Palme, lass uns eine kleine Reise machen.
Okay, sure. Where are we going?
Ich will nach Inazuma zurückkehren.
Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Noch ist nicht die Zeit für Erklärungen. Er hat sich wirklich gelöscht? Wie kann man seine Existenz so hassen?
We've made it to Amanoma Smithy.
Ah, it's been a while.
Hallo, ich brauche ein paar
Of
Informationen.
course. Go ahead.
Über Rain Kogaten. Kannst du mir nochmal davon erzählen?
Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaede Harakazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Ja,
Oh,
stimmt.
yeah, we were. Paimon remembers that now. We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too. It seems like such a shame.
Das war der Grund für den Niedergang.
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaede Harakazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
Die Legende der Raiden Gokuden wurde geändert. War es nicht anders, der damals als die Schwertschmiede angriff? Scaramouche scheint wirklich etwas mit Erenzu angestellt zu haben. Aber Niwa ist am Ende dennoch tot.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Hast du Kazuha in letzter Zeit gesehen?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
Zum Glück existieren die Leute noch und das ist alles beim Alten. Viel besser, als ich es mir gestern Abend vorgestellt hatte. Ich habe keine weiteren Fragen, danke.
My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Zur Sheriff-Verwaltung, hä? Das...
This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler! It's been a while.
Hi.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Entschuldige bitte. Können wir im Hof herumlaufen?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Hallo, kannst du etwas erklären?
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know?
Wie geht es Herrn Kamisato und Ayaka?
Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the Commissioner's behalf. As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business as usual on the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Ayato ist immer noch der Leiter der Sharing-Verwaltung. Und Ayaka hat die Shirasagi Himigemi. Kein Unterschied zuvor. Und bei der Yashiro-Verwaltung scheint es auch keine Veränderung zu geben. Ich hatte es zwar erwartet, bin aber trotzdem erleichtert, dass es den beiden gut geht.
Well, got any more questions?
Im Moment nicht, danke.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to have time for that. Miss
man so sagen.
Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all.
Okay, stopp, das reicht, danke.
I mean it. Whenever the Commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The Commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance to take his meals at home. But given the opportunity, he always prefers to dine here. They say it's because Toma's a much better chef than most. Oh, the Commissioner is so fond of home comforts. They get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a very fond tone. The way one would talk about dear old friends around whom one can truly be themselves. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and experiences they've had, you always get a mention. It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the Kamisato clan in that time. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, it makes me so happy to see them meet a dependable friend whose company they enjoy so much. So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters. There will always be at least one old lady who would be delighted to have the pleasure of your company.
Leute aus dem Kamisato-Clan sind auch meine Freunde. Danke.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Paimon likes it here too. Also, you were saying something about the food here being really good.
Oh man.
Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course. You're always welcome.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
Terrazuna.
Great! Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right, then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
Also,
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
ich habe mir irgendwie, also dass wir, mich hat's irgendwie ein bisschen gewundert, dass wir jetzt zur Schmiede und hier gehen, aber dass wir nach Terrazuna gehen, habe ich mir gedacht. Glaubt ihr, da sieht es anders aus? Ich habe vorhin schon mal erzählt, vor allem. Ich habe die ganze Zeit gedacht, warum auch immer, dass Terrazuna Tsurumi ist. Da wohnt niemand. Auch kein Ruiki, oder wie ich gesagt habe. Das war was komplett anderes. Ich weiß nicht warum, ich habe das verwechselt. Aber eigentlich ist es total dämlich. Komme ich darauf, Tsurumi mit Terrazuna zu verwechseln? Naja, ich habe die Karte wohl nicht so ganz gut im Kopf wie
There
Palmion.
are leaves around, and I know just the
Aber
tune
jetzt
to
kapiere ich es
accompany
auch wieder
them,
mit der
if you
Explosion
wish
und
to
so.
hear it.
Das ist Xavier. Aber den kennen wir ja, ne?
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the traveler in Paimon?
Hi.
Xavier? What are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Weißt du viel über Terrazuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth.
Jetzt kapiere ich das auch mit den Hochofen. Jetzt, wo ich auf der richtigen Insel bin.
If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
Kennst du die Geschichte dieses Ortes?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before.
Gut, dann erzähl mal
Not
bitte.
only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Bitte weih mich an.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation, goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then, too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Das war der Doktor. Anscheinend wurde die Geschichte, wie er mit der Zerstörung des Hochofens Chaos verursachte, nicht geändert.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna?
Ich frag doch schon.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Das kann man so sagen, ja?
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Richtig, deshalb möchte ich noch eine Frage stellen.
Sure, go ahead.
Hast du von einem Kabukimono in Terrazuna gehört?
A kabukimono? No, I can't say that I have. I do know the word, Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatara Suna is concerned.
Kein Kabuki-Mon. Was könnte Scaramouche und Amazon angestellt haben, dass sie diese Aufzeichnung löschen konnte? Wenn das so ist, dann will er wahrscheinlich die Welt verändern und alles wieder auf Null zurücksetzen. Und die ganzen Veränderungen scheinen bisher nur ihn zu treffen. Danke, Xavier.
Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for.
Gehen wir zurück zu niederen Herren Cosinelli.
Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you. Keep your smile, Spino Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Ich weiß. Danke, Paimon.
Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Er hat auch tatsächlich einen Teil von ihm gelöscht. So, zumindest er hat sich gelöscht. Und wir sind mal wieder nicht davon betroffen. Weil wir nicht zu diesem Land gehören. Wir gehören nicht zu dieser Welt. Also sind wir mal wieder eine Ausnahme.
Hey, it's them.
Oh Gott, die beiden.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Diskutiert ihr immer noch über eure Schreiberei?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Oh,
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh? Should we join them?
Gwen studieren ja auch den Vorfall in Tarazuna. Mal sehen, was sie zu sagen haben.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
Die Geschichte vom letzten Mal ist ziemlich beeindruckend. Könntest du sie mir nochmal zeigen?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Ich lese das jetzt mal komplett. Ich guck mal, ob da irgendwie... Hauptteil. Na, sag mal. Schluck rein. Hier, der Teil. Der ist wichtig, der ist gelb. Denke ich mal. Die meisten dieser seltsamen Gerüchte drehen sich um die Yokai und trotz nur so vor Besonderheiten von Inezuma. Nur ein kleiner Teil sprach von einem Fremden. Aha! Das wird... Aha. Es ist wichtig zu wissen, dass eine Person aus einem Volksmärchen, die in der Realität zu Vorschein tritt, sehr verdächtig ist. Daher wurden weitere Fragen zu diesem Thema gestellt und die folgenden Informationen erhalten. Einst kam ein fremdlicher Mechaniker zu Besuch nach Tarazuna. Es heißt, er sei gekommen, um technisches Wissen auszutauschen und habe tatsächlich Freundschaft mit den Ortsansässigen geschlossen. Dieser Mensch verhielt sich allerdings verdächtig. Oft begab er sich ins Zentrum oder an nicht für ihn freigegebene Orte und wenn jemand ihn aufhielt, hörte dieser nur unverständliches Gegrummel. Der Mechaniker blickte oft nachdenklich auf den Hochofen, als ob er dessen Zustand observierte. Auch soll er die Anwohner oft mit einem Blick beobachtet haben, der diesen unangenehm war. Der Wissensaustausch lässt sich tatsächlich sehr gut in die Epoche in Tarazuna einordnen. Tarazuna liegt am Meer, weshalb es per Schiff erreichbar ist, und dass jemand aus der Ferne willkommen geheißen wurde, ist auch nicht verwunderlich. Aber kurz nach dem Wissensaustausch begann der Niedergang des Gebietes, weshalb die Wahrscheinlichkeit eines Zusammenhangs der beiden Ereignisse als hoch einzuschätzen ist. Manche Einwohner meinen jedoch, dass dies lediglich eine Einbildung der damaligen Bewohner gewesen sei. Der Mechaniker, trotz umfassender Literaturrecherche konnte der Autor keine Hinweise auf seine Herkunft gewinnen. Nach den Vorfällen auf Tarazuna verschwanden die Gerüchte um ihn allmählich. Daraus schließt der Autor, dass diese Person keineswegs nur der Einbildung der dortigen Bevölkerung entspringender Fremder, sondern ein real existierender Besucher gewesen sein muss, der in die damaligen Ereignisse in Tarasuna verwickelt war. Ja. Und hier gab es hier eigentlich auch... Hier war eigentlich der Satz von Kanubi... Was weiß ich. Ich weiß schon nicht mehr, wie es genannt wird.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
Na, gib mal her. Steht was Neues drin? Miyazaki begann sofort mit vorgehaltener Hand zu kichern. Als Niwa zu Ende gehört hatte, setzte er die Eidechse in seine Hand auf Katsuragis Hand. Als er gerade etwas sagen wollte, kam noch jemand aus der Ferne herbei. Diesmal waren schwere Schritte zu vernehmen. Die sicheren Schritte des Ankömmlings zeugten von großem Selbstvertrauen. Bald tauchte ein fremdes Gesicht an der Tür auf, das anders aussah als die anderen Anwesenden. Der Ankömmling stellte sein Essenspaket beiseite und nickte, bereit zu gehen. Gewillt, ihn aufzuhalten, rief Katsuragi: »Herr, was ist mit dem Essen? Hast du keinen Hunger?« Als der Mann das hörte, sprach er lachend: »Ich habe schon gegessen, nehmt euch auch etwas. Du bist unser Gast, mein Herr. Es tut mir leid und ist mir peinlich, dass du uns so behilflich bist«, sagt Niwa wohlwollend. Freundlich lachte der Mann, scheinbar so, als machte ihm kleine Gefälligkeit nichts aus, und mit einem weiteren Kopfnicken ging er davon. Nun schossen die schwarzen Wolken in das Boot hinein und verloren gemeinsam mit diesem die Orientierung. Einer wilden Bestie gleich krachte es in die Küste. Nur wenige Schritte entfernt erhob sich der Mechaniker lachend, während er sich langsam dem riesigen Schiffswrack nähert. Von dem, der dort zuerst geschrien hatte, war nichts geblieben als ein halber Arm, der nur mit einem dumpfen Knall vor die Füße des Mechanikers fiel. Er ging in die Hocke und betrachtete ihn wieder und wieder, als wolle er einen Biss davon nehmen. Zuletzt unterließ er es jedoch. Denn die wirbelnden schwarzen Wolken hatten schon all das, was noch auf dem Schiff verblieb, verschlungen. Der zweite, der dritte, der vierte. Jeder Hilfesuchende brach bei diesem schlechten Wetter und mit seinem ungewissen Schicksal auf. Es wäre vernünftig zu sagen, niemand mehr sollte ein solches Risiko auf sich nehmen. Doch so dringlich wie die Lage von Tarasuna war es das Opfer auch noch so vieler Lebenden wert, wenn damit nur der Segen der Hauptstadt erreicht werden würde. Ah ja. Der Inhalt hat sich geändert. Es kommt durch die Änderung der Informationen Irminsul. Scaramouche sagt, er wolle diesen Namen löschen. Hat er alles aufgegeben, um seinem Herzen zu folgen? Aber...
Well, what do you think?
Excellent!
Traveler, remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
Kein
What did
Problem.
you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Armanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true.
Jetzt, da Scaramouche ja kein Teil mehr von der Geschichte ist, können wir es jetzt erzählen.
Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Wir haben noch etwas zu erledigen, wenn ihr uns entschuldigen würdet.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Machen wir. Na hier? Gott sei Dank, du bist da.
Nahida, we're here.
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. that night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then she decided she wanted to go to Inazuma.
Wir sind zurück, um Sachen mit Scaramouche zu untersuchen.
Balladeer? Sounds like
Sich,
some kind of code name.
er hat sich wirklich gelöscht. Tatsächlich.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Selbst Nida kann sich nicht erinnern. Also ist sie auch von den Änderungen in Emerald betroffen. Ja, natürlich ist sie das. Sie kann sich auch nicht mal an die höheren ruckerte Warte erinnern. Scaramouche muss sehr schnell gehandelt und seine Spuren gelöscht haben, bevor Naida ihn aufhalten konnte. Dann bin ich als die einzige Person, die sich an die Löschung erinnern kann. Ich bin wieder die einzige Zeugin. Ja. Es ist immer eine Ausnahme von den Gesetzen dieser Welt. Denn wir können ja nicht her. Wir hätten eigentlich vor 500 Jahren schon sterben müssen. Aber nein, alle, die überlebt haben, sind mit dem Fluch der Unsterblichkeit befallen worden. Naja.
Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
Es sind einige Dinge geschehen, an die nur ich mich erinnern kann. Ich muss es euch jetzt die Wahrheit sagen. Schweren Hetzen wird eine Geschichte erzählt, die viele Jahre nur in Bruchstücken existierte und das jetzt hier zusammengesetzt wurde. Es gab einzelne Personen mit dem Namen Scaramouche, die von der Göttin der Blitze erschaffen und als Puppe in die Welt gesetzt wurde. Er hatte viele Iterationen durchmachen müssen. Als er glaubte, dass er zum 3. Mal von allen verraten worden war, verließ Scaramouche Inazuma und begann umherzuwandern. Er vertraute den Menschen nicht und hasste die Götter. Er trug seinen Hass über hunderte Jahre mit sich herum. Nachdem er seinen Körper gestellt hatte, kehrte er nach Inazuma zurück, um sich zu rächen. Mit dem göttlichen Herzen versuchte er, den Thron der Gottheit zu beseitigen, scheiterte aber im letzten Moment. Später drang er in Emerald ein, wo er die Wahrheit über den Verrat an ihn erfuhr. Der Betrug machte sein ganzes Wesen aus und am Ende unternahm er die wahnsinnigste Tat, um diese Tragödie auszulöschen.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because, well, because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. The traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect her. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
So ist es.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he...
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
Ich bin mir nicht sicher. Ich und Scaramouche waren schon immer Feinde. Was ihn dazu bewegte, diese Dinge zu tun, warum er so skrupellos ist, das verstehe ich nicht. Will er das alles von vorne anfangen? Jemanden retten? Oder will er sich vollkommen selbst verleugnen? Ich glaube eher Letzteres tatsächlich. Glücklicherweise, oder? Auch retten. Er hatte doch diesen einen Freund, der verbrannt ist. Glücklicherweise kann das alles wieder richtiggestellt werden. Ich habe eine endgültige und korrekte Lösung dafür. Und darauf läuft es schließlich hinaus. Ich erinnere mich noch an die letzte Frage, bevor er angefangen hatte. Er hatte sie mir gestellt. Und mein Zögern hatte ihm die Antwort verraten. Ich hatte gezögert, weil ich mit eigenen Augen gesehen hatte, wie die höhere Herrenruckerte Warte ihre eigene Existenz ausgelöscht hat. Aber das konnte ich Nahida nicht sagen. Kurz gesagt, warum Scaramouche so entschlossen gehandelt hat, darf ich nicht aussprechen.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
Er hat etwas völlig Verrücktes getan, aber am Ende...
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Ja.
Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that, and if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. This story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Ja, am Ende wurde dafür sogar die Welt verändert. Die Verstorbenen haben keine zweite Chance bekommen. Und für dieses gequälte Leben gab es auch keine Erlösung. Gegen was hat er eigentlich versucht anzukämpfen? Dagegen verraten zu werden? Oder ist die Existenz selbst schon ein Fehler?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
Die Handlung deckt sich mit meinen Aussagen.
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the balladeer?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew she'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us. The now erased life of the balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content.
Der Vogel hat dann wohl gerade den kleinen Jungen symbolisiert.
I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
Zuerst mal, dass ich dieses Gefühl habe, dass das Leben weniger wiegt als ein Fehler.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Mahita's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take her out for a walk to clear her head?
You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk. Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up. We're here! What should we eat first?
Ich höre die ganze Zeit über das Gefühl, dass etwas nicht stimmt. Als hätte ich noch etwas Wichtiges vergessen.
Are you gonna answer or what?
Entschuldige, ich denke über etwas nach.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Was ist das? Plötzlich verschwand diese wichtigen Hinweise in meinem Kopf. Über Amazon, über Selbstauslöschung. Wer Herrn Ruckerte warte, verbotenes Wissen. Nahida.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
Warte, ich erinnere mich, dass sie, der höhere Herrn Ruckerte warte, sagte, dass niemand seine eigene Existenz löschen könne. Deshalb hat die höhere Herren Ruckerte warte ihren eigenes Samsara erschaffen, den Niederherren Kusanali, damit sie sich selbst aus Erenswil auslöschen kann. Das alles kann nicht sinnlos sein.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
Nein, Paimon kann ich es nicht sagen. Paimon weiß auch nichts von der höheren Herren Ruckerte warte. Aber es ist sehr wichtig. Scaramouche kann sich unmöglich allein vollständig gelöscht haben. Aber wenn es nicht vollständig war, was bedeutet das?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Er hat sich einfach eine neue Identität verpasst.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
Das ist Scaramouche.
He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsettias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do
Wir folgen ihm.
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Der Wanderer, ja? Deswegen. Er hat sich... Wo sollen wir hin? Er hat sich einfach eine neue Identität verpasst. Seine alte ausgelöscht. Das ist gar nicht so blöd. Er hat anscheinend gewusst, dass es sich ohne Samsara nicht komplett löschen kann. Hatte er das gesehen, als er sich mit meinem Bewusstsein verbunden hat? Ich meine, Nahida kann das ja auch. Und hat das auch gesehen.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his sensei? Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
Wenn ich es nicht mit eigenen Augen gesehen hätte, würde ich es nicht glauben.
Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
Ich bin ihr gefolgt, ja?
Have we met before?
Was? Oh Gott. Mein Satz wurde gerade unterbrochen, ja. Kann er sich selbst auch nicht mehr daran erinnern? Glaubt er wirklich, er ist der Wanderer? Oder schauspielert er gerade?
No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Ja.
I have no recollection.
Das ist sehr kompliziert, aber ich kenne dich jedenfalls.
Are you absolutely sure?
Ja?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
Ich kann es beweisen. Hast du es nicht? Du bist eine Puppe, nicht wahr?
Puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
Ich möchte dich an einen bestimmten Ort bringen.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Ist okay.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Okay.
Then let's return to the city.
Er kann sich tatsächlich selbst nicht mehr so wirklich an seine Vergangenheit erinnern. Also er weiß, dass er eine Puppe ist. Aber ob er von Scaramouche und dem, was damals auf Tarazuna geschehen ist? Wahrscheinlich nicht. Er kann sich ja nicht mal an mich erinnern. Und wir sind eine seiner jüngsten Erinnerungen. Hat er seine eigenen Erinnerungen gelöscht? Dazu? Auf jeden Fall ist er jetzt ein bisschen freundlicher. Und jetzt mag ich ihn noch viel mehr als schon. Und Palmion hat jetzt auch nicht so viel gegen ihn. Und der Traveler glaube ich gerade auch nicht.
I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day.
Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
But I don't... No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Gut. Und wo bringen wir ihn jetzt hin? Wir gehen zum Heiligtum. Das hätte ich mir auch denken können. Aber diesmal teleportiere ich mich da hoch. Ich weiß, warum bin ich runtergerannt, aber da wollte ich mich einfach gerade nicht teleportieren. Ich habe noch über so viele Dinge nachgedacht. Nee, da, wir haben jemanden mitgebracht. Scaramouche, wer er sich jetzt nennt. The Wanderer. Jetzt verstehe ich diesen Namen auch. Er kennt wahrscheinlich seinen eigenen Namen nicht. Aber was mich jetzt wundert, dass hier in seiner Häuslein steht, dass ich so viele Titel getragen habe. Vielleicht kriegt er irgendwann ein paar Erinnerungen zurück oder ähnliches. Nahida, sorry für die Störung.
Nahida! Nahida! What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You say that you're trekking across to Vat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called previous incarnation.
Was ist das denn?
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation? Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
Ich überlege, wie ich anfangen soll.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, You hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
Nein. Eigentlich nicht.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
Wir waren immer
If
Gegner.
we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything. What a weird situation.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name. There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Sicher.
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
Erinnerung einer Puppe. Vielleicht ist er der Fatus Scaramouche. Vielleicht ist er Kabukimono, der einst in Terrazona aufgetaucht ist. Nicht nur vielleicht, ich bin mir da sogar ziemlich sicher.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
Man könnte sagen, wir schließen unsere angefangene Betreuungsaufgabe ab.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your incarnation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
I hear footsteps. This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground. Who are you? You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life? Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
What are we doing back here?
Stimmen.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. you betrayed me too. The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Ich erinnere mich an den Ort.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the delusion factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
Ich kann mich an diesen Ort erinnern. Ist unangenehm.
Hey, look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
Yeah.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
Sieht irgendwie ein bisschen traurig aus.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results and your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Weiß auch, damals haben wir auch gegen die gekämpft.
Wind and cloud. It's fine. The wind knows me. Confess. Into the wind.
Okay, unsere Szene sieht man nicht nochmal. Schade.
Looks like we have arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
Ich finde das interessant. In der englischen Sprache gibt es die einen, die in der Ballade nehmen, und jetzt gibt es den Scaramouche. ich glaube, das muss ich echt nicht verkapieren.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
Der Doktor hat das alles verursacht.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
Was meinst du
Can
damit?
you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
Ist dies die wahre Bedeutung von dem, was die höhere Herrenrückerte Vata gesagt hat? Dass man sich nicht selbst auslöschen kann. Das heißt, wenn der ursprüngliche Scaramouche gelöscht wurde, gibt es dieses Individuum, das an seiner Stelle weiter existiert. Es ist vorherbestimmt, dass man seine Sünden nicht entkommen kann.
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours. You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end. This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions?
Hört sich ganz danach an, was?
Insignificant
past.
Squall and Fury. At my command, you shall fall. Too slow. The wind rises. Evil human. following me. Squall and fury. My endless cycle begins. Behold. Bow your head, insignificant pest. Too slow. Perish! Squall and fury.
Feeble human.
Quit following me. Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. But it was you inside that thing, too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
Jetzt eine Erinnerung wiederhergestellt sind. Wird sich die Vergangenheit anhören.
You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Ja, gehen wir raus.
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
Du willst nicht mehr Skanisch genannt werden?
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the sixth is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Es wäre wie eine heimliche Flucht.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
So denkt Nahida nicht.
Oh right, I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered. Including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Dann hilf mir bitte, das herauszufinden.
I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Weil ich wissen wollte, was du verändert hast.
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
Ich habe das nicht getan, um dafür belohnt zu werden. Bitte sprich nicht, als würde ich etwas von dir verlangen.
Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Ich hoffe, du wirst dich mit Nahida zusammentun.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too.
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
Was?
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Have you got anything?
Oh Gott. Regeln und Erklären zur Namensänderung. Du kannst den Namen der Figur bis in die Ewigkeit riftenden Wanderer in Nemo durch das Zwischenkapitel des Ach- und Aufgabe Umgekehrte Schöpfung und mit dem Objekt Umschreibungspinsel ändern. Was? Echt? Wie cool ist das denn? Bitte beachtet, dass bestimmte Namen nicht benutzt werden können. Sobald der Name geändert wird, zeigen bestimmte Teile der Spieloberfläche den angepassten Namen an. Bitte denkt daran, dass die Anzahl der Möglichkeiten zur Namensänderung begrenzt ist. Erklärung. Stell bitte sicher, unsere Nutzungsbedingungen zu befolgen, während du den Namen änderst, um eine freundliche Spielatmosphäre zu schaffen. Lies und bestätige bitte, dass die folgende Aktivität nicht anstößt. Also das ist jetzt wieder sowas mit Verletzen und sowas, ne? Okay. Ich kann ihm einen Namen geben! Das habe ich... Nein, jetzt hat... Ja, es ist mal wieder die weiße reingekommen. Oh Gott, was soll ich ihn denn nennen? Oh Gott. Ich habe mir schon die ganze Zeit überlegt, weil da er ein Wanderer heißt, wäre es ja voll blöd, wenn ich den wirklich so nennen will. Darum wollte ich ihn schon immer eigentlich Spitznamen gehen, aber jetzt kann ich den Namen wirklich ändern. Hat mir so nichts eingefallen. Ich glaube, ich muss mal gucken, was Google sagt. Vielleicht finde ich da irgendwas Passendes. Okay, ich glaube, ich habe einen Namen. Ich muss sagen, ich habe diesen Namen gesehen und der ist sehr schön. Ich habe hier irgendwo auf Google, was der heißt. Bezieht sich auf den Shintoismus. Ich muss sagen, ich mag den Namen. Ich hoffe, ich habe ihn jetzt einfach nur richtig geschrieben. Nein, habe ich nicht. Kagura. Bin ich doof? Bitte sage ich hab's jetzt. Und ich finde irgendwie... irgendwie passt das. Okay.
Are you sure?
Magst du ihn nicht? Ich finde ihn gut.
Alright. If you say so.
Das ist so cool.
Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Wie das jetzt da steht. Ich hätte wirklich nicht gedacht, dass wir wirklich den Namen ändern können.
Still thinking. Stop rushing me.
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
Was hast du vor?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you.
Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been. No nonsense. I like it. All right, let's call it a day. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore.
Das ist irgendwie schön, dass er noch der Alte ist, weil... So wie er vorher war, er war freundlich, aber das war halt nicht er. Jedenfalls ist es jetzt vorbei, ja?
So we can finally go eat?
Ach, Palmion, du bist auch so wie vorher.
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
Ja. Das werden wir tun.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
Die zwei schon wieder.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
Gehen wir jetzt zu unserer Lieblingsbank? Nö. Schade. Wir hatten ja so eine Lieblingsbank in dem Aachen-Auftrag, wo die Aufnahme leider ein bisschen kaputt gegangen ist. Ich glaube kaum, dass sich die Folge jemand angeschaut hat. Ich verstehe es aber auch. Ich sagen, ich weiß gerade gar nicht, wie viele das gibt. Oh, ich bin falsch. Oder doch nicht? Nein, bin ich nicht. Oh, also ich denke mal, dass auch das hier wieder in mehreren Teilen sein wird. Ich weiß gar nicht, wo ich hinlaufen muss eigentlich. Der bitte mich jetzt dahin. Ja, ich denke mal, das wird wieder mehrere Teile sein. Allerdings, da die erste halbe Stunde ich eigentlich bloß was vorgelesen habe, muss ich echt noch schauen, wie ich das überhaupt zusammenschneide, dass in jeder Folge was Interessantes ist. Weil, naja, das kann ich nicht zusammenlassen. Ich habe zwar schon öfters 3 Stunden Videos hochgeladen, aber die sind zwar doch besser angekommen. Okay, vielleicht lasse ich es doch ganz. Ich weiß es noch nicht.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back.
Ruh dich ordentlich aus. Ich werde zur Belohnung etwas Leckeres kaufen.
Wow, great! Huh? Look at the vase.
Was ist?
Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
In jener Nacht war Paimon wegen der Sache mit Scaramouche verängstigt und ist aus Versehen an den Tisch gestoßen und hat die Flasche zerbrochen. Aber gleich danach hat Scaramouche seine eigene Existenz ausgelöscht. Hatte die Welt nicht schon verändert? Warum ist diese Flasche denn immer noch zerbrochen?
You sound lost and confused.
Oh, wer ist jetzt das?
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate. Like a vase that falls to the ground, whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
Hat er wieder der nächste Gott zu uns gesprochen? Der Gott von Fontaine? Beziehungsweise Fontaine ist die Göttin. Weil es war ja auf den Apfelinseln auch so. Da hat er auch Nahida zu uns gesprochen.
The voice has disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff?
Den Augen vertrauen. Das hat sie gesagt. Soll ich auf meine Erinnerung hören?
Anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up? It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
Ja. Was erwartet mich in der Zukunft? Das ist eine gute Frage, ja. Aber es war wirklich schön. Also wie gesagt, ich bin mir jetzt noch nicht sicher, ob ich das cutte, weil 3 Stunden habe ich ja schon öfters gemacht. Wir haben einen Umschreibpinsel bekommen. Kann man den Namen öfters ändern, oder was? Das haben wir hier. Tatsächlich. Und wie oft können wir das ändern? Oh, hier. Wie cool. Tatsächlich. Irgendwo ist noch... Genau, in der Sheriff-Verwaltung ist noch so ein Ding gelegen. So eine Melodie. Tatsächlich. Aber wie cool ist das denn bitte? Wir können wirklich den...
Relax.
Wir können wirklich den Namen von jemandem ändern. Hier, weil das kannst du ja nicht ändern. Okay, gut. Außer vom Reisender, aber zählt jetzt halt nicht. Aber wir können jetzt wirklich von einem festen Charakter den Namen ändern. Wow. Wie cool ist das denn bitte? Und ich mag auch seine mehr oder weniger neue Persönlichkeit. Er ist schon ein bisschen freundlicher geworden, aber trotzdem noch der Alte. Weil der andere, der war als direkt nach seiner Auslöschung, das war einfach nicht er. Oh Mann, ich fand es so schön und so lustig und auch gleichzeitig ein bisschen wirklich traurig. Der Wanderer hat endlich einen Namen. Und ich dachte echt immer, ich kann ihn bloß so als... Ich wollte ja immer schon einen Namen geben, weil Wanderer ist halt so... Hä? Aber wir konnten ihm tatsächlich den Namen geben. Nicht nur einen Spitznamen, wie ich die ganze Zeit gedacht habe. Er hat tatsächlich einen neuen Namen bekommen. Und ja, ich finde das schön. Bin mal gespannt, wann wir unser nächstes Wiedersehen haben und ob Paimon dann endlich einen hässlichen Spitznamen für ihn hat. Ich hoffe, wir sehen noch mehr mit ihm. Also, es wäre wirklich schade, wenn es das jetzt gewesen wäre. Mit ihm. Aber es kommt bestimmt noch was. Also dann, ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Schreibt mir alles in die Kommentare. Wie habt ihr euren Wanderer genannt, falls ihr überhaupt einen habt? Beziehungsweise, ihr habt den ja umnennen können, wenn ihr die Quest gemacht habt. Wie habt ihr ihn genannt? Oder habt ihr es einfach bei Wanderer belassen? Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal. Ciao!